something I find really interesting is that a long time ago, when you and I met a million years ago, it seems like now, 15 years ago, probably something like that. Sometime in 2005 or so, right?
Mm-hmm.
At Body Construction Zone, where Super Training Gym was named Super Training Gym. Before Super Training Gym had a gym, it was just a team of lifters, just a team of fat guys getting together and lifting. And you and Ben Alderman came and you guys lifted with the team for a while and stuff like that. But something that stuck out to me, you and I didn't really talk a lot. Like, we weren't like buddy. We would communicate in the gym here and there and stuff like that. But I remember one time you were like, talking about, I think you were maybe opening up another Dutch Bros at the time. Maybe it was your second one or something like that. And you were like, yeah, you're like, a lot of this stuff's not going to pay off for, I don't know, 5-10 years or something like that, but I don't care. And you walked away and I was like, holy shit. Like, that's great. Like, people don't say that. That's like so unconventional. People don't just say like, oh, this is going to, the jiu-jitsu he's doing now, like, it's going to pay off in 5 years. Like, most people don't have the patience to even stick something out for even just a couple of weeks sometimes. And you're talking about 5 years down the road, how you're not scared to kind of like eat shit for a while. Where did some of that come from?
I think it was ignorance and willing to take big chances. And they asked me where I wanted to go when I applied to franchise. And I said, to just send me anywhere. I'll go to Fairbanks, Alaska. And growing up in the hometown, like I was trying to explain earlier, like that, I had a feeling that it would do well anywhere, even though I didn't really look into going to a place where nobody knew who we were, like Woodland, and having no customers and having to grind and figure out how it all works. And
Woodland.
Learning a lot of those. My vision was just being close to Sacramento, and I didn't even really care what city it was. Yeah. They had a deal going in Woodland. They told me to go check it out, and I said, I'm down. So the not knowing the full scenario or exactly what I was getting into probably helped, just not having a full understanding. But I knew that whatever I was given, I was going to perform at my best. And I knew that if I trained people and if I gave back to the community and if people knew that I was doing my best, then it would be contagious and it would be something that was going to work eventually. And with the bills I had at the time, my shop in Woodland, the first one, was the most expensive Dutch Bros we'd ever built. And they would talk about that. They'd be like, you got some pretty big overhead. You need to do some big numbers. And not even knowing what I was looking at, I just had this confidence of like faith and support, and my wife. I knew that we were going to figure it out, and we did. You got some pretty cool trucks and pretty cool cars, and you got a whole shop going, right? Yep. I 3-4 years ago I started doing off-road racing, and just got addicted. I think about it all the time. Two of my big goals is win the Baja 1000 and get my black belt in jiu-jitsu. Okay. And so getting my health is important for both those goals.
Right.
So the racing turned into building cars and having my own shop now, and creating another team of people that are at Provost Motorsports where they're fun to be around. I try not to have anybody in my life that is negative or not contributing in a positive way and not stoked. So being able to start that group and them over deliver and kill it, and it's definitely been fun to do something different.
Do you think that's important for people that are trying to get ahead, people that are trying to be leaders, people that are trying to be entrepreneurs? Do you think it's important that they have something like this? They have something that they really gravitate towards. It's maybe like a hobby, whether it be like fishing, hunting. You're into your cars and stuff like that. You think it's an important factor?
I do. I feel like even if you have an amazing job and you're passionate about it and everything's going really good, you might be limited. You might hit a ceiling of what you're capable of or what you can accomplish. I didn't like go on a lot of breaks or vacations. I enjoyed working so much that it's just all I did. And having kids and wanting to take them places and create opportunities for my kids, it's refreshed me. It's kind of restarted some brain or some things that I've been struggling with. I'll leave town and I'll come back and I'll be like, I know what I need to do now.
Right.
So kind of
energize you.
Yeah, kind of knowing that I need those breaks, or that the racing's an outlet, and the building cars as an outlet. Like, to me, it's just so much fun, and I'm so passionate about everything that I do that it's easy to not do things that I don't want to do, because I have so much amazing stuff in my life that it's easy decisions to make.
There's probably a lot of like college age kids listening to this, 18, 20, 21. And you said you were a criminal justice major, but you didn't end up even going towards that. You ended up doing what you're doing now. So is there any advice that you would have for like a guy or a girl that's in college right now and they're doing something and they don't know if they actually want to head towards that? Is there anything you tell them that they should probably be thinking about to help them out?
I would try to get some reps in it and see, do some ride-alongs like in that situation, or ask good questions, or talk to somebody who's been doing it for like 30 years and be like, what do you think? Is this something that you would have a blessing on me to do this? I think sometimes the sound or the image or the look of something draws somebody towards it, but it might not be genuinely what they want.
That's a great suggestion, because if if somebody wants to be, say, like a police officer or something, and you talk to somebody that's been a cop for a while, they're going to tell you a lot of the pros and cons. And a lot of these guys and girls have been divorced because the job is so hard and stressful. And so you can kind of think to yourself, do I want to be a cop that bad? Do I want to make that decision that could otherwise sacrifice other parts of your life? There's give and take to all of it. It doesn't matter what job you select. It's going to always be hard, but it's good to know that ahead of time by just, trying it out.
I feel like most of those that age group, though, there's something that they have in them, or they have a gift, or they have some niche that they might be running from, or they might not be fully aware of that they're good at it. And going through, having good friends, I think, is a big part of it. Having that circle of people who are going to be real with you and be like, you might not be good at that, bro. Some people never hear that.
One thing that's unique about your position, which I think is something that doesn't get talked about enough. So people want to go to these leadership things, and they want to learn from like the best. And they want to learn from people that have made it to the top. But you can really learn a lot from people that haven't made it anywhere. And so in your line of work, being at a coffee shop, you're going to run into a lot of people they're just kind of starting out. Like Dutch Bros, for you, it turned into a career. For a lot of people, it would just be starting out a job. Maybe they don't understand the culture, and it's a little different than working at just any coffee shop. But for the most part, minimum wages type gig, right? Mm-hmm. And so when you're dealing with people, like, you have a unique look at like what people are doing backwards, like what people are doing wrong. Like, it's great to look at your owner of Dutch Bros, right? That's awesome to look at him and be like, holy shit, man, he really started something. But look at these people that are failing to like keep their job, and you're trying to lead them. You have mentors in the program. You have everything is set up there, just like Super Training Gym. Everything is here for you to get stronger. But I've learned some of the most valuable lessons from people that don't get any stronger, from people that aren't pushing it. What are some things that you've learned over the years from people that you've had to let go, people you've had to fire, people that just they can't figure it out, even though everything's right there for them?
That's tough, because I see, one of the things that I'm good at is seeing what people are capable of and what their talents are and like what they can accomplish. And some of the people, they don't know that. They don't believe in themselves enough, or they don't have the confidence or whatever, the know-how, the experience to realize that like they can do great things. And I'm sitting there in their corner, like goal setting and being like, hey, if you do this, this, and this, you can have this. And they don't see the path. They don't understand that it's worth it. Like, all this hard stuff you're going through is worth it. And it's heartbreaking to see them make those decisions, or not stay on course, or kind of settle. I always say, don't settle for second best. Mm-hmm. And I have that approach with everything that I do. I was looking at trampolines for my kids, and I'm like looking at the best trampoline in the world. You know what I mean? It's like just stuff like that where I don't settle. And so, but for a lot of kids, they look at their peers or what scene they're in, and they're like, okay, well, I'm about the same as everyone else. That's a pass. I'm good. Like, it's almost, what do they call that in school when they go off the whole class's grade? Grading on the curve. Yeah, on the curve, yeah. I feel like that mentality
I don't think your microphone's working.
Oh, my bad. I barely heard you.
Yeah, sorry. It's called grading on a curve.
Yeah, I feel like grading on a curve has kind of infiltrated the brains of like our society, and it's so stupid. It's like, why don't you be the best, or why don't you try harder? Or like, why don't you try for 100%? And if they're like, well, if I get 70, I'm good. And so with our crew, I feel like if I can show them a way that they can see what I see, or I can give them a taste of like, this is what you're capable of, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.